Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader. Thursday night, September the 29th, 2011. Wasn't it September the 29th, the anniversary of the stock market crash? Well, we didn't quite get a crash today, but the market sure came down midday. Although we rallied at the end of the day to save the day, and we still closed up on the day. It was kind of a deceptive day. But what I want to do for today, since we've gone over longs and shorts, is I want to show you some of the better acting stocks in my universe. Now I always find that the stocks that act the best are the ones that usually do well or do, very well over the course of the next several months, depending on whether we get a bull market or not, a bull phase anyway. Starting with AWK, American Waterworks, you can see it had a beautiful trend up until May of last year. Went sideways, rolled over sharply in August, but rebounded sharply and has been in an uptrend ever since. Matter of fact, it's moved from 25 to 31 and made new highs here while this market has been backing off. So good sign there. If things continue well, we may see that one move into the mid-30s. Cepheid in a beautiful uptrend now for a year and a half and continuing. Matter of fact, over the course since the August lows, the stock has moved up steadily and is now challenging the July high. You can get through the 41 area or so. This could be a $45 to $48 stock. Acting well. EDAC, to say the least, acting well, has gone from 3.5 to 9.5. Now we finally got a little bit of a three-wave pullback to test support, and we did bounce this week. So we'll have to see whether or not the stock can stabilize and move up. But my next target is 11.5 to 12 zone. Quite a big percentage move if it does get going. You can see where support is right here around 7. Up next, Indologics, which has been acting great since last year, beginning of the year, February, March, when it was 5.5, and all the way up till just under 12, about 11.5, 3/4 near the top of the channel. It backed off, bounced, and backed off again, but you can see it's consolidating above this key area of support. A good sign. Now, if it does break down, obviously the bottom of the channel down here would be next support. It does have some moving area support there. But on an intermediate to longer term basis, mid to high teens may be had. GNK, one of my favorite shipping stocks, was in a big downtrend, broke that here, spiked up through the secondary resistance level, and then backed off to test, forming a nice little wedge in here. Volume dissipated, acting well, and if we can get a stronger phase in the market, we hit a breakout, I can see the stock moving to the 12.5 zone eventually. LQDT, outstanding action since the double bottom in August when it was trading around 20.5. This stock spiked up, pulled back twice and tested the early August highs. There's your platform of support. And then in the last week and a half has spiked up, getting as high as nearly 37 yesterday. Backed off a buck today, but still overall a very strong relative strength performance for LQDT, which very well may get into the low to mid 40s at some point in the not too distant future. Brings us to MyTech, which has been in a great trend especially since the March low when it was trading around 3.5. Got up to 1330, quadrupling. And you can see the stock's volatile, it's fairly thin. It does have its periods of pullback, sharp ones here and here. This time it's pulling back in a much more orderly fashion, in a nice little down channel. There is some support right here, bottom of the channel support, and major trend line comes in around 8.5. Really don't want to see that, but if it does get there, I consider that a buying opportunity. Next move, we're looking at 15.16. MRGE acting very well in the last year, has gone steadily higher. You can see recently it shot up from 5.25 up to nearly 7 or over 7.25, and then backed off. But this pullback looks pretty orderly. And if things do straighten out with the market and we go higher, we can see the stock up near 9. That's my intermediate target, short-term target. To retest the highs around 7.5. Up next, Nuance, which even though it spiked down sharply in August, like many stocks did, it's come back from 1560 up to 21 and change. A nice rising channel. It may soon challenge the highs of 22.5, 23. That's key overhead and long-term resistance, but it gets through that, we can see mid to high 20s on Nuance. Star Surgical acting great after a long basing period in which it coiled for a year and a half. It broke out with band in here and surged from 450 to 9, doubling. Now in the last couple weeks, it's backed and filled, popped out, backed up, and snapped out. You can see the entire action here. Support around 7.25. If this does form some sort of topping pattern, we could see it come down towards the 6 1/4 half area. That would be a buy, in my opinion. 50% type retracement, back down towards there. We'll see what we get. If it consolidates here, it starts to move up, it could very well get into the low teens. STMP, one of our stars over the last couple of months, you can see the breakout, the breakaway gap, the pullback orderly here, exploded, formed a little wedge. We gave you a buy there for a swing trade. It certainly worked. And now it's pulled back in an orderly fashion to near the bottom of the channel and its price support. We'll have to see if it can hold around 19 3/4. Certainly that's key support. And if it does move up and make another leg up, we could see this very well get up towards the high 20s. Susser Holdings, SUSS, pop, pulled back, held, double bottomed, and broke out and ran. Pulled back one more time and spiked up, and now it's pulled all the way back to the prior pullback low in early September, near the 50-day moving average. So this is key support. If you draw a trend channel in, you'll see that Susser has been nearing the bottom of that channel. And then he moved down into the zone here. Could be a buying opportunity, particularly if this does turn out to be nothing more than a bull wedge. Then we have a target up around 26. TSPT, after that huge move, pulled back, held support. It spiked up again, but now it's flagging. While the market pulls back, the stock acts very well. On balance volume and money stream and balance apparel all looking good. I would expect at some point this to break out and maybe run up towards 10-11. WMGI acted very well recently with a breakaway gap here, a running gap there, a breakout across resistance here, quick pullback, retest, and then boom, she goes up and consolidates. Acts very well. Looking for 1920 on this short term. WPRT broke out of a nice base, pulled back and retested, bounced again, but couldn't quite get through, and then pulled back one more time, maybe forming some sort of wedge in here. If you draw lines across these pullback lows. And that in itself looks pretty bullish, but we'll see if it does hold key support around 27 and a half, 3/4. Next target up around 42. And lastly today, XTXI, wanted to show you the volatility here. This is a beautiful move up and then a sudden thrust to the downside. Snap back to resistance and a rollover to new lows, but look at this move up from 8.5 or 8.25 to 15, almost doubling to retest the highs. Now it's consolidating at a high level, and I'd watch 13 as a stopping point, but if it does make it up higher, we can see 17 or 18 on that one. And that's a quick view of some of the stocks that have been acting very well of late, and some of the stocks you should keep on your watch list. Take it easy. Have a good weekend. We'll talk to you Monday night.